todos los derechos y beneficios aquí. No es suficiente informarnos de nuestros derechos, sino uno se dedica a asegurar que los recibimos. Ya estamos hartos de tantas mentiras, tantos beneficios que nos ponen en papel y que no los encontramos.
El plátano un día.
We're here today because we need to let the consulate and the Mexican government know that everything that they do against our brothers and sisters of SME, we are watching them. They are not alone. Our brothers and sisters of SME are not alone. That's why we need to make them these letters, as many letters as possible, letting them know that we are vigilant. We are vigilant of anything that happens to our brothers and sisters in Mexico. We are vigilant to see if they display them from El Zócalo. They must not. The resistance must continue here in the United States. We are together. We are hand in hand tied with our brothers from SME.
All right.
Brothers and sisters, thank you for stopping by today. I want to be clear on a couple things. The San Francisco Labor Council is in full support of the brothers and sisters that are being privatized and harassed in Mexico City and throughout Mexico right now. SME, the electricians who are holding out against the government of, where's the picture there? President Calderon, who you see in the pictures, who is all about privatizing and getting rid of unions. We want to give unfettered, unadulterated support to these brothers and sisters. I'm in the process right now of writing a letter directly, besides coming here to the consulate yet again, I'm in the process of finalizing a letter that other union leaders are sending right now to the Consul General here in San Francisco. It's going to go into the mail this afternoon directly to, and I'll fax it over there if Brother Frank can happens to have the fax to the consulate, but it's going to go in the mail directly to the consulate today, saying that we are going to continue to monitor the situation in Mexico. We are going to continue to support our brothers and sisters, and we thoroughly oppose the trumped-up charges against the leaders of this union in which traitors are going ahead and absolutely going against trade union principles in Mexico in order to bust this union. So we're going to move this forward. This has also turned into, brothers and sisters, a national campaign. We have international unions that are weighing in on this campaign to support the brothers and sisters in Mexico and the SME, and we're going to continue to do this. This is at the highest levels of the labor movement here in the United States, not just in San Francisco and everywhere else. So we're going to be back. We're going to continue to monitor this, and I want to make sure that we are clear about our unwavering support.
San Francisco Labor Council, standing tall and proud. Vamos a traducir estas palabras al compañero director Tim Paulsen para la comunidad, para el pueblo mexicano aquí adentro. Nos informa Tim Paulsen que de parte del Consejo Laboral de San Francisco estamos totalmente en apoyo con el Sindicato Mexicano de Electricistas y los indignados que están hoy día en el Zócalo. También nos informa que hoy día muchos líderes aquí del movimiento sindical de San Francisco van a participar en esta protesta a través de cartas de protesta que hemos enviado aquí al consulado. También nos informa el compañero Tim Paulsen que sigue con nosotros. Es una demuestra claro y clave de la unidad multinacional, la visión de los trabajadores y liderazgo de que siempre vamos a dar los brazos abiertos a los recién llegados, al pueblo mexicano y a todos los pueblos que llegan a estas lindas tierras. Aquí estamos en solidaridad, compañeros, compatriotas. Aquí hay la fuerza, favor de seguir pasando la palabra, y otra vez muchas gracias a todos los integrantes y seguimos luchando y quizás terminamos con la manera siempre.
Hi, we would like to know your name and we would like to know what you're doing here and why you're helping us in this picking. Queremos saber su nombre y queremos saber qué está haciendo usted aquí para ayudar con esto.
Bueno, vine aquí en el Consulado mexicano a una feria de abogados laborales y por eso estoy aquí hoy.
He said he was here because he was in a lawyer fair and he says that he wants to help out. ¿Algo más que quiere decir?
Bueno, quiero informarles que tengo un problema, mi situación fue un problema laboral con la corporación All Caso Precast, dueña de muchos bolts que ponen para las P&E, todas esas compañías eléctricas alrededor de Estados Unidos, y fui despedido después de trabajar 14 años con ellos en una forma muy mala, ya que me tildaron de que yo soy una persona con salud, con problemas de salud mental. Probé que no es así, como quiera me denegaron mi trabajo. Tengo 5 años que esto pasó y me tuve que gastar mi dinero de retiro, tuve que gastar mi dinero del desempleo, y he buscado justicia. Ya fui a la corte con la juez en la ciudad de Oakland, en el edificio del estado. Desafortunadamente no encontré la justicia o la ayuda que yo esperaba. Mi trabajo se me negó, las compañías son muy poderosas, están ejerciendo mucho poder contra los trabajadores, y por eso no pude retornar a mi empleo. Hay una feria ahora aquí de abogados para los trabajadores, y resulta que no hay ayuda, es mentira, es verdaderamente crítico lo que está pasando con los laborers ahorita aquí en Estados Unidos. Estamos perdiendo el poder adquisitivo de nuestros trabajos, y por eso estamos ahora buscando ayuda en este caso. Espero que mis palabras no suenen tan mal, pero All Caso Precast, especialmente esta corporación, en el área de soldadura, trabajé 15 años de soldador y me despidieron porque supuestamente yo estoy enfermo de salud mental, y la muestra es que aquí estoy hablando, les estoy diciendo, estoy recibiendo seguro social. Yo no quiero recibir seguro social, yo quiero mi empleo para atrás. Señores, eso es lo que quiero. Hagan justicia, quiero mi empleo, por favor, gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Ahí está, ahí va.
As he said, he worked for a large company that included electric companies such as Pacific Bell, and he worked there for over 14 years, and after 14 years of hard working, he was fired under the conditions saying that he had some mental disability, which obviously, as you guys can see, is not true. And what he came to say and why he's supporting is because he wants his job back. He doesn't want, right now he's not working, and the only money he receives is Social Security money, but he doesn't want Social Security money. He wants to work again. He wants his job back, and this is why he's supporting our picket line.
Yes.
You're a leader in a children's hospital?
I'm a registered nurse. I work at Children's Hospital in Oakland. I worked there for 29 years.
And can you tell us a little bit more about this rally?
We're here today to draw attention to the plight of many of our co-workers who are unemployed, many families who are homeless, living on the streets, and what's really going on in our society.
Anything more you would like to add?
Nurses we advocate for our patients when we take care of them. Patients go home and we need them to be secure in their homes, to have health insurance, to have jobs, and to be able to feed themselves. And we're here at Nancy Pelosi's office because we believe the politicians should be on our side, on the average American side, and we should be taxing financial transactions on Wall Street. Wall Street caused the unemployment, and Wall Street has caused the unemployment and all the problems that are going on, and we believe that they should pay their fair share of taxes.
Have they been taxed before?
This financial transaction tax that we're proposing has been in effect in the past, but it's no longer in effect. It's in effect in Europe, and it's a very small tax on the kinds of stock trades that caused the problems that collapsed Wall Street.
If they were taxed, how would this change for the nurses and the patients as well?
Well, right now, services are being cut for in education, in healthcare, in taking care of our cities, all those kinds of things, because there are no funds in cities and government and counties. So this tax would raise $350 billion a year and we want it to go toward services to the people who need it. Services such as healthcare for everyone. Wouldn't that be great? That would be wonderful.
We see the spiraling down of health and living standards among our patients, their families, and our communities. The increase in lack of jobs, people suffering from poor nutrition, the loss of homes or shelters, and the loss of retirement security are indicative that Wall Street bailouts did absolutely nothing for Main Street. We're here to say that we care about Main Street and that we need to end the charity for Wall Street. Today, just as we are gathered here, there are 61 other Main Street actions which has been put together by nurses, led by nurses by our union, National Nurses United, in 21 different cities throughout the country. At each action, we are calling on our congressional representatives to pledge their support of a Wall Street transaction tax that will raise $350 billion to fund programs that we would need to put Americans back to work, protect our homes, our schools, and our health. Big banks, investment houses, and other financial giants who wrecked our economy, who gambled with our mortgages and our pensions, need to return some of their wealth to Main Street, and it's time to take them back.
San Francisco Living Wage Coalition. Please welcome her this afternoon. Jaquela. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jaquela Burton, and I'm a member of the San Francisco Living Wage Coalition, and I'm a mother of 3-year-old twin toddlers. In the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, the economic stimulus bill, there was a $5 billion provided for the temporary assistance to needy families emergency fund. This money put more than 250,000 parents in subsidized jobs across the country, including more than 6,500 here in San Francisco. The stimulus funding gave people hope that things would get better for them. It also offered on-the-job training that gave people more job opportunities by teaching them new skills. Many of these jobs were provided for important services to the community. I was in the community jobs program working at a nonprofit as a community outreach organizer. Everything was better for me financially when I became employed. I was able to live a stress-free life before this program. I had many barriers to employment because of my lack of skills. It was a struggle to not be accepted for a job because I didn't have the skills or experience. I was glad I was a part of the community jobs program and that the program didn't shut me out. The things I learned were valuable skills I needed for the job field. All of these things were new to me because this was my first job. Senate Republicans blocked an extension of the funding from coming up for a vote. On September 30th of last year, the funding ended and 250,000 parents were put out of work. This put many single mothers back in poverty that they were previously in. When the funding was cut, those families had not reached their 5-year limit and went back to PowerWorks. Grants as low as $600 per month. Those parents who had reached their lifetime limit were left with nothing. After the TANF emergency fund ended, I did temporary jobs that weren't reliable. I received $169 a week in unemployment insurance while needing to find housing and move. I now attend community college and have a part-time job that is funded by leftover federal stimulus funding. With the budget cuts to education, it is a struggle to get in classes that I need and have a schedule that allows me to balance work and taking care of my children. Last May, I was invited to a conference in New York called the Excluded Workers Congress, and we participated in a march on Wall Street. I saw for myself the huge wealth that they have on Wall Street. I know that I didn't wreck the economy. It is time that Wall Street start paying for their vote.
I'd like to introduce now Nell Myhan. She's from Just Cause Housing Project. Please welcome Nell.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, loving the sunshine, beautiful crowd. I want to start by saying that Causa Justa is Spanish for Just Cause. And we have a housing rights campaign that I'm here to tell you a little bit about. I'm actually a homeowner who's facing foreclosure. And there are already in 10 counties in California 9 million households that have been foreclosed on. How many people in the crowd know someone who's lost their home to foreclosure? Take a look around. Take a look around at how many of us either are or know someone who's lost their home to foreclosure. It's outrageous. And we know that this crisis was actually started in Wall Street and the policies that they paid for the government to create, right? It's a collusion between the government and the corporations and Wall Street and the banks, okay? Hedge fund managers last year, some of them made $8 million. $8 million. $8 million in 1 year. So at Causa Justa Just Cause, our housing rights campaign is focused on neighborhood stabilization. And we do that through advocacy and direct action. We also work on removing housing from the market because we know that housing is a basic human right, and we feel like people should not have to compete and wonder where am I sleeping tonight and what am I going to do to be able to keep my young people stable. And that is a lot women's work. It falls disproportionately on women. We also know that the subprime crisis was targeted in communities. It's disproportionately impacted black and brown communities, poor people who have been displaced out of public housing by the dismantling of HUD, the systematic dismantling of public housing over the last 30 years. And it made us vulnerable to those loans that they said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And now they've put millions and millions of people out of their homes because if 9 million households are impacted and each household had 3 people, right, you can see the millions and millions of people who are impacted. And where are those people going? Some of them are coming into our homes, those of us who still have homes. We're welcoming our children back with their families. We're bringing our mothers in with us because they've lost their homes. It's outrageous. So we do our work by in a few different ways. So we press politicians for accountability from the banks and from the corporations, and then we work directly with our base and our members. We have a self-help group in Oakland that meets every Tuesday night that focuses on foreclosure prevention. And so we come together and we bring our cases, our little papers organized in our folders, and we share information, and then we make calls in support of each other's cases to the public officials to say to them, what are you saying to Citigroup when they are trying to sell my house out from under me? I have a neighbor who's a mother of a 4-year-old who's facing foreclosure. She fell behind after losing employment. How many people know somebody who lost their employment, right?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Lugo.
Good afternoon, my name is Maria Lugo.
Soy miembro de la colectiva de mujeres y de la raza Centro Legal. Y estamos aquí hoy día para apoyarlas, para pedir que todos tenemos derecho a trabajar con dignidad, con respeto. Así es que sí se puede, compañeras. Tienen nuestro apoyo. Así como nosotros luchamos, luchen ustedes. ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede!
I'm here from the collective of Mujeres Respect.
Colectiva de mujeres.
The collective of women with dignity and respect, and we all believe that we're here also because everyone needs to have a dignified wage, health care, and we support your move as nurses. We're here to tell you that yes, we can.
Thank you, Maria. Rasters from Children's Hospital in Oakland and treasurer of our national union. And as a nurse, Martha has never limited her activism to nurses and their issues, but she has been a model of solidarity and advocacy to working people every day and everywhere. Please welcome Martha Coop.
Many of you know I'm a pediatric hematology oncology transplant nurse, and I want to tell you 2 brief stories based on how I see our current healthcare system. As you know, it's a system where you get all the healthcare you can afford to buy. I took care of a child who was diagnosed with a deadly form of cancer and needed the treatment of choice was a transplant. In his family, because of their genetic heritage, they were an unusual match, and no one in his family matched. So his family had the means, the education, the funds, and the wherewithal to do an international search for a donor match. Thank goodness they did, because without that healthcare they could afford to buy, their child would have died. Thank goodness he is living today. My second story is a child who was injured, and as it turns out, after the injury, we figured out that he was also having a deadly diagnosis, or a potentially deadly diagnosis. But because he did not have insurance, because the healthcare system was fighting over who was going to pay for the biopsy necessary to determine the form of cancer and the treatment of choice, he laid in bed. This child laid in bed for weeks in severe pain, awaiting treatment. This is incredibly unacceptable. That's why we're out here today. Nurses, represented by the California Nurses Association, National Nurses United, have a contract. And we know that our contract provides us our ability to have a decent life. We believe every American should have a contract, and that's the Main Street Contract for America.